Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome here tonight. I'd just like to thank the Sydney Funding Network for the opportunity to present to you this evening. Firstly, can I have a show of hands from the parents in the room who have read books aloud to their own children or who are currently reading books aloud to their children? Fantastic. And also, can I have a show of hands of the people in the room that had a favourite book when they were a child? So you would all understand the love and security and the bonding that comes with having books read aloud to you while you're snuggled up to one of your favourite people to share a book together. My father was the person in my life that read to me, and my favourite book was Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh, and my favourite story was Alexander Beadle, and I can still hear the love and the expression in my father's voice as we shared a book together. Tonight, I'd like to share with you a time in my life when my heart was broken into tiny pieces. One of my friends is a foster carer, and I was in her home one day when an 18-month-old baby arrived in her care. He was very unwell, and he had arrived with a plastic grey bag full of winter clothes. The reason he had winter clothes was to cover up the bruises on his 18-month-old body, as well as the hand marks. I couldn't believe that this was happening in my suburb. In that moment, I thought, what can I do for this child to change the direction of his life? If the eyes are the windows to your soul, then this little soul had experienced enough in his 18 months. My experience with my own children was to read books aloud to them since they were newborn babies, and I got to see the benefits for that when they went to school. They fell in love with reading just like magic, almost overnight. And why? Because they'd had thousands of books read to them when they were younger. So my thoughts for this little boy, who looks exactly like this photo, mind you, his name was Jimmy. He was clinging to his foster carer like a little frightened koala bear, and she was his strong tree that was going to love and protect him. In that moment, I thought, what gift can I give this baby right now? And for me and my experience with my own children was the art of reading books aloud. If I can have him love being read to and love learning, then that's something he can take with him throughout his life. No matter if he moves foster care placements, if he loves being read to and he loves learning, if I can empower him with education, the earlier better, then that's something that he can take with him and hopefully help him through his life. So in that moment, the Pyjama Foundation was born, and I started reading to Jimmy every week while I developed our program. So essentially, the Pyjama Foundation screens, recruits and trains volunteers. Our volunteers are called Pyjama Angels. Our angels are matched up with the same child who they visit in their foster homes every week. I want to empower these children with literacy, numeracy, the love of learning, confidence and life skills. And if we can empower them, then I believe that we can change the direction of their life path. The process for screening and training a volunteer is $500. So with $500 tonight, I can have a Pyjama Angel placed with another child in foster care. Also this year, I had another very confronting moment. I went inside a man's prison to mentor a man called Michael who'd been incarcerated for 10 years. This is not my program, but I went in to assist a colleague of mine who was running an initiative inside the men's prison. The reason why she got me to mentor Michael was that he'd been a child in foster care. So sitting with him for an hour, I got to see his life, and it was tragic. He had the most neglected and violent childhood. He entered the foster care system when he was 8 years old. He had a dreadful time. He had about 50 foster care placements. The only place he felt safe and secure, was in prison. How can our society get this so wrong? I never want to meet another Michael. If we can empower these kids with education, the sooner the better. I think the children can only stand to benefit. The cost to society of getting it wrong with a foster child, with getting it wrong with one foster child, is $750,000. If you invest in the Pyjama Foundation with $500, we hope to change the life trajectory of these children and so they don't go into the prison system. The statistics surrounding children in care are dreadful. 93% are below the average reading level, 75% of these children won't finish school, 50% of the homeless actually come from a care background. My vision is to support all the now 50,000 kids in foster care in Australia. When I started this organisation 15 years ago, there was 21,000 kids. The number of children has more than doubled in about 10 years. If we could just go on to the last slide. I'd just like to share with you this little person. I can't show you his face because he is a child in foster care, but it is very adorable. His name is Toby, and he is sitting at the door waiting for his pyjama angel to arrive. He's got his little pile of books in his hand, and I want to change the direction of his life so he doesn't end up like Michael, that he's valued by our society and that he's empowered to have a successful and happy future. Thank you so much.